All right, back with you here from Tahoe. It is the wrap-up show, and the Padres do salvage a game of the series at Dodger Stadium, thankfully, and they did it in kind of remarkable fashion. Who thought they were going to score there after being shut out through 8 innings? But they get 4 runs in the 9th inning. They hold on after Taylor Rogers allows a run at the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Padres avoid falling 5.5 games down. It could be worse if they would have lost today and been swept at Dodger Stadium, but they'll have to settle for taking 1 out of 4, Jim. They're 3.5 games back. We're at the halfway point, 81 games in, 13 games over 500, on pace for 94 wins. Very odd road trip where they've struggled to score, but the Padres do, in fact, salvage a game at Dodger Stadium. It felt like they kind of had to find a way to win here today. That's what we said yesterday. And they do, in fact, win a game behind Mackenzie Gore and some late offense.
Yeah. What did you say on Twitter? 3.5 back is much better than 5.5 back. Which is what this team was going to be if they didn't have that rally in the 9th inning off Crane Kimbrel. I don't know how they did it, but they did it, and it was, you could argue, the biggest win of the year so far. Like, there's been other big wins this season, but to me, today just felt like one of those just massive wins that they needed to have and that everybody knew they needed, and they came away and they stole a game. They absolutely stole this game in the 9th inning. And you look at the entire game, Mackenzie Gore, first inning, got into a lot of trouble, gave up a run, and that was it. I looked this up, and I don't know if you saw the tweet, John. Besides, if you take out the 2 Rockies games this year, he has a 1.39 ERA. So he's been lights out versus everybody else other than the Rockies. Now, his whip is still kind of high, but it's, production today, pitching 5 2/3, and then Nick Martinez coming in, giving a massive boost to his bullpen. He's like the best long reliever out there. And, your buddy Eric Hosmer came through in the 9th. Got that double.
I mean, that was a big hit. I mean, he's had some big hits, honestly. I mean, Voit, first of all, how snake-bitten is this team if they don't win when Voit hits the ball literally off the top of the wall? And then he never ran out of the box, so he should have been a third easily. He ends up at second. You're thinking, oh, my gosh, is that going to cost them in this game? But it doesn't. So Voit doubles, you're tied up. Hosmer had a really good at-bat. He saw 6 or 7 pitches. He ripped an inside fastball down the right field line to give the Padres the lead. Then Ha-Seong Kim had a huge hit because Taylor Rogers, we didn't know at the time, Taylor Rogers ended up allowing a run. I mean, for the Dodgers to get Mookie Betts back, for Betts to produce, right, double the first inning and score, double in the 9th inning. He was thrown out in this game as well, right, by Jurickson Profar. Was that Betts who was thrown out?
Yeah, eighth outfield, assist?
That's unbelievable.
He, leads the league, tied for the league lead.
But, I mean, to score the 4 runs in the 9th inning and then to hold off the Dodgers, because we were texting back and forth at the bottom of the 9th inning. Like, are you kidding me? Like, they've got the tying run at the plate. They might have the go-ahead run at the plate. No, the tying run at the plate there in the 9th inning.
Freddie Freeman. And then whomever the next batter was. Who is it? The catcher. Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith. I mean, just to win that game, I don't care how they won it. I honestly don't. I don't care if the bases were loaded there in the 9th inning and the Dodgers scored 8 runs, but they won by 1. I mean, just to win the game was important. It really was. 3.5 back is not the end of the world. Losing 3 out of 4 is not the end of the world. It was not a good series, but to get that game on Sunday and to finish the first half 13 games over 500, I mean, they could be a lot worse. That's for sure. And Matt, thank you for the super.
You can see this? Can you see it? I'll read it.
I can see it. You read them.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Is it just me, or did the place get really loud when Kim hit that home run? Lots of Padres fans there. It sounded like, it really did. Like, I think in the bottom of the 9th inning, it sounded like there was a "Let's Go Padres" chant from the TV side.
Right.
It was pretty empty at Dodger Stadium towards the last half of that game. And there are a lot of Padres fans there for sure. I mean, it's a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Everyone probably has tomorrow off. You're going to go up there to watch of course you're going to do that. Go like Newport or whatever it is. So yeah, I think a lot of Padres fans were there for sure. And when Kim hit that home run, it was like, if they didn't hit that home run, they still could be playing right now.
Absolutely.
So that was the big, yes, obviously Voit without that hit, we're not talking about Kim, but Kim's hit and that home run is something that this team has been missing for the last week plus.
Even more. I mean, they're second to last in home
like a
runs in the
big
National
time
League.
homer in a big time situation.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like they've missed it all year. I saw Dennis Lynn actually tonight wrote an article about the Padres' need. They need offensive help, specifically against hitting fastballs. They're seeing more fastballs than any team in baseball, but they're not taking advantage. They're 27th in baseball against the fastball in terms of slug. Now, they did have 3 consecutive hits against the fastball. Cronenworth off of Kimbrel's back, then Voit nearly homering, then Hosmer ripping that ball to right, and then a breaking pitch. Ha-Seong Kim has not hit breaking balls. He's slugging like 2-something against breaking pitches, and he ripped a breaking pitch basically over the center field wall or left center field wall about 400 feet. So that's something the Padres have not been doing. We're at the point where it's not a matter of, do you think they need offense? We know they need offense.
Right.
We know they need offense. The question is, what type of offense can they acquire up against the luxury tax without the same depth in their system that they've previously had, with the injuries that they've dealt with? Are they going to move from a position like a surplus position like starting pitching or not? Probably not, would be my guess. Jesse, thank you for the super as well. But it's not even a question at this point. They have to add offense. And they're still 13 games over 500 despite having, a bottom 10 offense in baseball. They have to get offense. And they can't afford to give up starting pitching to go acquire offense. But there's no way you can go into the final 60 games of the year without addressing this lineup. There's just no possible way.
Jesse asked Jim, did you have the Hosmer jersey in the cart? Yes, I have his City Connect jersey in the cart ready to go. Even though the Padres were so nice enough to give us some City Connect jerseys, I just really want a Hosmer jersey.
I like it. I really like where your head's at.
So I read the Lynn article before we came on here.
Yeah.
And Hosmer's slug versus fastballs this year is like 350.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the players that they're looking at, or at least the players that are available, one name that's the top of the list as far as slug against fastballs is Ian Happ.
Oh, yeah, he breaks.
Over like a 600 OPS versus fastballs.
600 slug.
600 slug, excuse me.
Yeah.
So that guy is definitely now on my list as potential trade targets. Will Holder, come on down.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that list. I mean, Mancini's on that list. He hits fastballs.
Contreras.
Santander's on that list. He hits fastballs.
Our boy, Santander.
Yeah, there's some names. The common names. Brian Reynolds is on that list. They're not getting Brian Reynolds.
Was Laureano on that list?
He was on that list. He was on that list.
Yeah.
So they're going to find a way to get one of these bats. I mean, they just have to. And the trade deadline's now less than a month away. And again, I mean, considering everything, it could be a lot worse with this offense. It really could, if not for this excellent rotation. And Mackenzie Gore lived up to the billing. I mean, they beat Clayton Kershaw today. I know Kershaw was great. I know he went 7 scoreless innings, but Mackenzie Gore, was essentially as good as Kershaw, and then Kimbrel hasn't been good, and they took advantage.
Yeah, no, like honestly, today it was another just kind of grind it through game from Gore, but sometimes those teach you more how to be a pitcher than if you're cruising. Mm-hmm. Like, how do I manage and navigate through not only this great lineup, but through traffic on the bases, or me walking a couple guys to start an inning, or whatever it may be. And that's how you become a better pitcher, is grinding through games where you either don't have your stuff, or it's like, all right, there's a runner on literally every inning. How do I make sure this guy doesn't score? And that to me is more impressive sometimes than a guy going out there going, like just completely shoving. Because if you can get through games like today with only giving up 1 run, that to me bodes very well for Gore, because he's going to have those games where he's lights out. He goes 7 innings, strikes out 11, right? But it's the games that he doesn't have it. How does he do in those games? And so far this year, he's shown, besides the Rocky series, that he can definitely grind through games. And that to me is a great quality to have for a pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, I think you play with fire a little bit with the walks, but he's, to your point, pitched well with men on base. I mean, he's really pitched well with men on base this year.
Yeah, how can you lock down and make sure that guy doesn't score? Right? Don't give in.
Yeah, it is playing with fire. I don't know if it's a good combination, to be honest with you.
No, you don't want that to happen all the time. I agree, but
it does feel like he's walked more than he needs to, especially after his first 3 or 4 starts of the year. I feel like the walk numbers are up, but his stuff's so good, and he's able to work himself in and out of jams. And then offensively, this team had scored 4 runs in the first 35 innings of the series, and then they score 4 in the 9th to bail out Mackenzie Gore, to bail out Nick Martinez and
Right.
find a way to win. And that is the quality of a good team. I think they've won twice this year when trailing after 8 innings. And one of those games is today at
And that's
Dodger
what
Stadium. I mean, you're buried, Jim. If you lose this game and fall 5.5 back, you can spin it any way you want. There's a long year to go. You have 12 games against the Dodgers. There's no way any Padre fan is realistically thinking about winning the division if you fall 5.5 out today. I mean, there's just no way.
Now, yeah, the division to me would have been done, right? But there would still be that chance. Like, hey, the playoffs are still there. Just get in. Anything can happen. 100%. But like that dream of, potentially getting a top seed and winning your division and getting a first round bye, like that to me would have been out the window because 5.5 games back with 81 to go. There's time, obviously, but the one thing that they just can't get over is you just can't beat the Dodgers. Like that psychological, like mental block that this team would have. Like we just can't beat these guys. Like they're just kicking our ass. And today was a nice, like, oh, but no, that's not okay. Like we can fight. And they showed that in the 9th inning for sure. Ruben Vasquez, thank you.
Thanks, Ruben.
I don't know if you saw, because I know you're in Tahoe, John. Do defensive stats account for 360s for Kim? There was a play today.
Whirly bird.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So I forget what inning, but it was late. It was late in the game. I think it was. I think Gore was still in. I think it was in the 6th inning, and it was. I think it was to get him out of the 6th, I believe. And it was a double play ball, and Kim did a kind of 360, and they even talked about on the broadcast, like he probably didn't need to do that,
right?
And he would have got the runner out at first. I mean, it was. His momentum was probably taken in that way. Like,
right.
And so he was like, okay, I got to make a quick decision, 360, and it didn't cost him. So it's fine.
Yeah. And he's a good defensive player. I mean, there are times I think like he does a lot to accomplish a little, if that makes sense. He's a lot of movement at times, a little too much movement where sometimes it feels if he was tighter, then he'd be more productive. He's just always flailing. He's all over the place. He's always sliding. He's always diving. He's always moving. Stylistically, it's different than other shortstops. It's different than other middle infielders. Yeah. But he is a very good defensive player, honestly. I think there's more knocks on his offense than there are on his defense. But to be honest, offensively, he's had some moments here, including here today with that home run. So hard to knock Hassan Kim. Matthew Keene, thank you for the super as well. We do want to remind you before you read Matt's super here, please subscribe if you're a Padres fan. That's the only requirement. Please subscribe if you're a Padres fan. If you are here live or on replay, smash the like button for us. You can hit that notification bell. You'll be notified when we go live. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Our radio show at John and Jim will be back Tuesday at 3. But thank you guys for the supers. That is a great way to support this channel. We really do appreciate it. And thank you for the super last night, by the way. The unbelievably generous $100 super that rolled in just after I signed off. Thank you. Thank you. What was the name? I wasn't there for it. Do you remember the name? Wow. Must have been really impactful, Jim.
I want to say Jeff.
Jeff, thank you, even though that definitely is not your name.
No. No.
You texted it to me.
I know I did, but I use my phone for my thing.
So am I.
Anyway.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, potentially, Jeff. All right. Matt says it was nice to see some late contributions. Almonte hangs one, and Kim taking it out is a nice change of pace. A lot of work to do still to get this team back on track. Way to go, boys. Yes. Yeah. Again, 3.5 is a lot better than 5.5. This was a 2-game swing. A 2-game swing today. And they said it yesterday, like on the national broadcast. John Smoltz kept repeating, tomorrow's like a must win for the Padres. It's a must win for the Padres. And you're thinking to yourself, well, it's July 3rd. Is it really a must win? And a lot of people would say it's not a must win because you got 81 games left. But like there are times in a season where, yeah, you need to win that game because of the 2-game swings and division opponent. And it's because you haven't beaten the Dodgers like at all this year. So there was a lot on the line today, just from like, obviously the standings perspective and a psychological perspective as well is, yeah, we're not out of this. And 2, we can beat you.
Right. I mean, they're still 2-14 in their last 16 games against the Dodgers, but I agree completely that if they lose today, mathematically, forget the math. It's not happening. It's just
But
not
John, it's not a
happening.
must-win game because there's still 81 games left in the season. I wonder who's going to say
Right.
that.
Well, no, here's the thing. I mean, they still have 12 games against the Dodgers, and they're going to need Fernando Tatis Jr. to be healthy, and they're going to need to have an improved offense for most of those games. If they're going to want to win 6 or 7 of those 12 games against the Dodgers, they're going to have to be better than they've been so far. 2-5 right now against LA. Jesse, thank you for another super as well.
He said Gore can't contribute or can't continue to throw 40 pitches in the first 2 innings. Can we say that Snell looked great too? No, Snell looked great. He just does well against the Dodgers. I said Friday, he's going to shove, and he did. Struck out 12, didn't pitch deep into the game, but I mean, statistically, that's maybe one of his best starts this season.
Dude, I'll tell you this right now, Jim. He's had some moments here recently where he's been really good. Now, he's been done in by a half inning like he was after he broke Bryce Harper's thumb. Mm-hmm. But he's had 4 or 5 inning stretches where he's been completely dominant, where he's had 4 innings where he strikes out 9, 5 innings he strikes out 12. Now, he needs to fully put it together. Can he turn the 5 innings into 6? Can he avoid that one tricky inning? And it feels like he's trending a little bit that way, to be honest. He's had some outings where he's been unbelievably good. And then there's been that one blip. But I'm slightly encouraged by what I've seen. Again, it's the same story with too many pitches. It's the same story with 1 inning that does him in. But I don't know. I just feel like he's trending in a positive direction right now. And I thought the blip was hitting Harper. He was done in by that. He pitched terribly after that. But no, I'm encouraged, honestly, by what I've seen here from Snell the last couple times out.
No, I am too. I mean, the game against the Dodgers was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But he did throw a lot of pitches.
He did.
And also, too, it's not just – it's just frustrating to me still. Like, he can only give you 5.
Yeah, he's not a 6 inning. No.
Like, it's just a 5 inning guy. And he can be great and amazing in 5 innings. That's awesome. I just, that's tough because you want a guy who can at least give you 6 or 7.
I agree. Let's tell our viewers about Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor here on the wrap-up show. I've got my insurance through Mark. If you have auto, home, renters, life, earthquake insurance needs, Mark Nimitz is your guy. He can save you $750 on your insurance needs. That as simple as just switching your insurance to Mark Nimitz, he can save you $750. He's got great service and communication. He's a San Diegan, like we always tell you. He's a lifelong Padres fan. He's supported this channel since day one. You can get to his website by clicking on the link down below. But whether it's auto, home, renters, life, earthquake insurance, I have my homeowners and my earthquake through Mark. I've been texting with him all day long. This was an important win for the Padres. And he can talk to you not just about your insurance needs, but also about the Padres. He'd love to talk Padres baseball with you. He's Mark Nimitz. If you support this channel, if you want to support a local business as well in San Diego, if you're a San Diegan with insurance needs, please go with Mark Nimitz at Farmers. And Mark is in the chat right now. And like you said, awesome win. It didn't look good earlier. I was getting some texts from Mark. He was not thrilled. But by the end of the day, all good. And thanks, Mark, for your support as always, man.
All good. All his information, too, is above my head. Nimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to him, let him know John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
Let's get some goat emojis in the chat for Mark Nimitz. Again, we're unable to do this channel without the support of our partners like Mark and Aura and Omar Sanchez. So thank you guys for hanging out here on this Sunday evening.
This is interesting. I mean, this is what we've been talking about, like bullpen or bat. I know we need to upgrade our offense, but the bullpen looks like another big issue. With the guys coming off injuries being enough to solidify and be a playoff level bullpen. It's a great question, Felipe. I've tried to make the case that I would want the bullpen to be upgraded more. I just think, you get a 2-1 lead going into the 7th and you have a lockdown bullpen, you feel pretty good about that. But if you go down to, it's tough because this bullpen isn't great, right? It's not great. I don't think the players that they could come back from an injury like Suarez and Pomeranz is enough.
I mean, Taylor Rogers worries me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, Taylor Rogers really does concern me. I think he can lose the feel on his slider very quickly. He's proved to be too hittable for me for a closer. Now, he's had a very good year. It's not to say he hasn't had a very good year. It's just when you're trying to protect a one-run lead against a good team, how are you feeling with Taylor Rogers on the mound? I mean, how are you feeling last year with Mark Melancon on the mound? I thought he was hittable at times as well. He ended up having an excellent season. I think they need absolutely another closer type, like an eighth-inning guy. They need an eighth-inning guy, and they need a bat. Beyond that, I don't know if they're going to completely reconfigure their bullpen. I think there's good pieces, theoretically, when they're healthy, the Suarez's and the Garcias and the Crismats and the Rogers. And if you add a Pomerantz, like, I think there's enough positive there. I don't think it's going to be the best bullpen in baseball, but I think you need a hard-throwing, late-inning guy that gets swings and misses. That's what I'm adding if I'm AJ Preller.
Yeah. You need that. Yeah, you need another. You need another guy that you can count on for sure.
Absolutely.
Michael, thank you for the super.
Thanks,
appreciate
Michael.
you from Mexico. Padres go 9-4 to finish strong these last 2 weeks until the All-Star break. Mark it down.
That'd be nice.
You would take that in a
Oh my gosh.
freaking second. I would take 8-5.
Yeah, I mean, you might take 7-6. I mean, you go 7-6 into the break, Jim. You are 14 over, and you're getting Tatis back any day at that point, or any week at that
Theoretically,
point.
You don't. I mean, who knows?
Who's here? I mean, Seattle's coming obviously for a couple of games. What else?
Giants.
Between now, yeah,
Giants have looked really bad. Like they've
Awful.
lost. They went 2-8 on their 10-game homestand versus
Who'd they
the
lose?
Tigers, Reds, and White Sox.
And they just lost DeSclafani for the year.
Yeah, but he's been. I guess he's been sucking all year.
But still, I mean, they'll probably need to address starting pitching. I mean, the thing is, with 6 playoff teams, it's hard to punt on a season. Like, yeah, San Francisco has been bad, but
No one's punting. Are you serious?
That's the thing. Philadelphia, San Francisco, even Miami, they're like 2 or 3 under. Like, you can kind of go for it. If you're around 500, I think you go for it, you know?
For sure. Yeah.
9-4 would be awesome, though. 9-4 would be awesome. Oh, yeah, great point. Yeah, it's great.
Morehone as well. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think he could be big in the second half. I really do.
So, all right. So, Suarez, Morehone, and Pomerantz. Are those 3 guys enough?
Honestly, probably not, because Pomerantz doesn't go back-to-back days. Morehone's coming off Tommy John, and Suarez is kind of the great unknown. So, no, I would want one more. I think it's good. I think their bullpen at the end of the day, if healthy, is pretty good. I don't think it's an elite bullpen, so I would add to it if I was AJ Preller.
Right. And you don't have to be, I mean, I know Taylor Rogers has been good this year, but seriously, you don't have to be married to Taylor Rogers forever for this season, you know?
Yeah, I mean, again, he's going to get the lion's share of save opportunities, obviously, when he's got 23 saves.
But again,
sub-3 ERA.
But who else are they? I mean, who else is they're going to trade for somebody? You know, in Lynn's article, they mentioned like it's going to be difficult for them to make any significant trades because they're $1 million from the 230 tax threshold. And if the only way that they can make significant upgrades is if they shed payroll, and Hosmer and Myers are like untradeable because they have no value. Mm-hmm. And then the other guy that they would have to try, they would have to move to clear salary would be Blake Snell, but he doesn't really have much value right now. So you might have to be looking from within for most of this stuff, which is tough.
I still think there are moves to be made, especially with the bullpen, where the bullpen's you're not going to go acquire a reliever that makes $10 million a year. If you acquire a reliever that makes $5 million a year and you take on 2/5 of his salary for the year, you're taking on $2 million in salary. So I think there's moves like that can be made that are pretty realistic. Now, moves like Contreras and others are way more challenging. Reynolds, actually, he's not hard because of salary. He's hard because of what you'd have to give up. Right. But a move like Contreras, I don't know what Hap makes, but it's probably more than a couple of $1 million a year. So I think that's the more tricky moves. I think you can get a reliever easily. I mean, there's going to be 35 relievers available at least at the deadline. They could probably help this team. So I think the reliever's not the issue. I think it's getting that bat that can contribute that isn't like an Adam Frazier type, but is an actual contributor that has some slug. Maybe that'll prove to be more challenging than the reliever piece.
And this is a great point by Navin.
Yeah, it is.
And we've talked about this, and I got upset about it. Like, why do you have Lumet on this roster making $5 million and doing jack shit? It makes no sense. I don't even know where he is. He's down in the minors. And to be honest, I would be shocked if we ever see him in a Padres uniform again. I said that when he got sent down.
He wasn't moved. I mean, I think he's got some I'm taking a flyer on him if I'm another team because again, okay, he makes $5 or $6 million a year, but you get him at the trade deadline. there's only a couple of months left in the season. Maybe you catch lightning in the bottle, and then you see moving forward with them.
But this stuff is just like so frustrating because you're like, you praise AJ Preller for the moves he has made, but then this type of shit, you're like, makes no freaking sense at times. You're like, you have Lumet.
You can't be perfect. I mean, we've talked about it.
No,
right.
No, I know you can't be perfect, but this stuff, the Lumet stuff, it's avoidable. Like, why? This is not, it's like, you're giving this guy money for what?
Well, what other option do you have? They should have regardless.
They should have DFA'd him before.
It doesn't matter.
No, I know it doesn't matter now. I know. I'm just saying that was a mistake.
It doesn't matter now or then. They owe them. It's a cap hit. You can't pay someone and then just cut them and not put it against your luxury tax.
Well, they should have cut him before they paid him.
When? After 2020, when he was third in Cy Young?
They didn't get after 2021.
It wouldn't have saved him a dime.
Yeah, it would have. They gave him $5 million.
No, they didn't. He's arbitrary. You're saying in arbitration they gave him $5 million?
He got $5 million in arbitration.
So you're going to cut him before he goes to arbitration to save the $5 million?
Yeah.
Because he was ineffective in 2021?
Because he's a lost cause. Yes.
Well, I agree he is at this point. That would have been, I don't know, a little outside the box. The guy was still like second or third Cy Young voting.
I would have done it in a second. After what you saw in 2021 as a guy who just nothing there, I'm getting rid of him. But that's not the end all be all. I mean, no. I'm just pointing out an instance where you're like, why did they give this guy this money, and why is he's now buried in the minors? Like, what's the point?
You win some, you lose some. I'm more concerned about the 144 for Hosmer.
Okay, well, we can't go back in time 8 years, John, or was it 5 years?
I mean, again, I don't think the Lumet thing to me, yes, it's concerning and it's problematic and it's not going to end well in a Padres uniform, but I don't think that's ultimately a big problem for AJ Preller this year. So we got $5 million.
Well, the only reason why I'm saying it's a problem is because you could have used that $5 million for way more effectively and help this team out. And right now that $5 million is rotting in the minors when this team will not go over the luxury tax and they have $1 million to play with.
But it's like a double-edged sword. You DFA Dinelson Lumet, and if he provides value for anyone else, that becomes a horrific decision. And we've seen that play out before. If he gets DFA'd and goes to Cleveland and then makes 19 starts this year and has a 2.9 ERA, you've seen it before. That's definitely no fear. The guy's got good stuff. Yeah, he doesn't have the same stuff after this injury. He made $4 million last year. I mean, it's not like he went from he made 3 to 5 or
he's
4
just
to
injury.
5.
He's just injury prone and he's done.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if he's done for his career. He might be done in the Padres uniform. I wouldn't say Dinelson Lumet is 100% definitively done in his career. He could still have another surgery. He's not even 30 years of age. Jesse
Lumet could have been where Clevenger is if he got the surgery. Yeah,
correct.
Right, and he didn't. Correct. Now he's in the minors forever.
Potentially.
Let's
tell our viewers about Omar Sanchez.
All right, hold on.
Partner here on the wrap-up show. Our newest sponsor, Omar Sanchez at Edge Home Finance. He's here to help all Padres fans with their mortgage. You can text Omar right now. You see that number on the screen. 619-387-7798. That's 619-387-7798. You can also scan the QR code on the screen right now. He's your San Diego native mortgage broker. Whether you're looking to buy your dream home or refinance to consolidate your debt, if you're in the process of buying or refinancing and would like a second opinion to make sure you're getting the best deal possible, go with Omar. He's a San Diegan, a lifelong Padres fan. He went to San Diego State. He supports this channel. If you support this channel and you have any mortgage need, please call or text Omar Sanchez for a free consultation. And if you're a realtor, Omar is looking for local partners as well. Omar Sanchez can help get you into your dream home today.
619-387-7798. You can text him anytime you want. If you have any mortgage or loan questions or needs, Omar is your guy. 619-387-7798. If you just want to welcome aboard to the wrap-up show, you can do that as well. Talk Padres, you can do that as well. But if you have any mortgage or loan needs, he is your guy to go to. Again, 619-387-7798.
All right, so as you make your way into the wrap-up show tonight, please subscribe. That's the only thing we ask of Padres fans. You got to subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter. Supers are a great way to support this channel. We make sure to get to all the supers. You become a member now as well. We'll tell you more about that coming up. You can click that join button down below. Custom emojis, custom badges, members only content as well for members. You can click that join button down below.
Yeah, they made a move today, and I'm blanking on his name because I've never heard him before. But they sent down Ray Kerr, which was 100% a given after what he did yesterday. Like you saw the thing I put out there, Bob Melvin just shaking his head. The second they showed that on TV, I'm like, that guy's gone tomorrow.
He's gone. Yeah.
I don't know who they brought up. If you could put that in the chat. But I'm a little, I'm curious to why they didn't call up Jose Castillo, because he's had a great June. He's looked like he's back. Every time we talk to anybody from Mad Friars, they're like, this guy is ready to go. I don't understand why he's not up. Doesn't make sense. Especially if you send on a lefty, Kerr. I don't get why they didn't bring him up. I don't know. It's
Taylor Scott that comes up, a righty for the lefty, Ray Kerr.
Yeah, I don't know.
But here's the thing with Castillo, and it's a great point by Ben. I mean, I wonder if they just wait a little bit, like knowing that he'll need to be conserved to some extent, and like if he's going to provide valuable innings in the second half of the year, is he going to be able to do it for 3 months as opposed to a shorter period of time? I don't know. It's a good point. His numbers have been good. Obviously, he's been injury prone. We haven't seen him in a Padres uniform in forever. So I guess they're going, with the cautious route before bringing him up. But that is a very fair point. There's no question about it. I don't know anything about Taylor Scott.
Nobody
his
does.
First big league action since 2019. So, and in 2019, in 16 and a third innings, he had a 14.3 ERA. In 16 innings, had a 14.3 ERA. So he pitched overseas in Japan in 2020 and 2021. I have no idea what to expect. I guess he's the last man in your bullpen right now because Ray Kerr was the last guy in your bullpen.
Probably. You'll see him in some mop up duties for whenever.
It's like you always have to have that last position player, right? Like Matthew Batten right now is serving as that last position player.
Yeah.
You have to have your last reliever, like you said, mop up duties. So it's a good point at Castillo. It really is.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, first win at Dodger Stadium since April 25th of last year. And ironically, that was another game they came back, I think maybe in the 9th. It was on Sunday Night Baseball, and it was like the greatest comeback in ever. Remember that game?
I
They
do.
were freaking out because they took 3 or 4 at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah. I'll tell you one team I wouldn't want to see is the Dodgers in the postseason because of all these issues. I mean, it's the one team. It's like, I don't care. I don't care what your rotation looks like. I don't care.
They have a matchup for everything. Dude,
yeah, exactly.
Tyler Anderson and Gonsolin are like 19-1 this year.
It's pretty good. 19-1.
Yeah, those are two guys. You're like, huh?
And that would be like their game 3 and 4 starters. No, it wouldn't. Gonsolin would be like a game 1 starter, actually.
Well, it would be their game 3 and 4 starters if because you're gonna have Buehler. If you had a healthy Buehler and then Urias, and then also, oh, by the way, you have Clayton Kershaw.
I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches. No, by the way, they'll double down at the deadline. You watch.
Right. Frankie Montas, though, he got hurt today. That's a big one. So that also, too, and Dennis's article mentioned, or I don't think he mentioned this, but you just kind of put the two and two together. If someone's looking for a starting pitcher, and Frankie Montas was one of the starting pitchers that was on top of everyone's list, and you need to get some cap relief to get a bat, potentially, one guy to stick in is Blake Snell. I don't know.
But again, is that even something we're advocating for?
No.
I mean, we've advocated for holding on to these starters.
I'm not, but if they're trying to get some salary dump here so they can get a bat.
Yeah, but a salary dump just to get a bat.
They have no other option.
No, they have other options. They have
other
options. I mean, they don't need, Blake Snell makes like $15 million a year. There's not any bat they're going after that makes near that money. Wilson Contreras this year isn't making near that money, just this year. So they do not have to part ways with Blake Snell to add a bat. Now, I'm not saying they don't have to part ways with someone to add a bat, but I don't think they have to move Blake Snell to add a bat. Like what does what does Benintendi make this year? What does Santander make? These guys making a couple $1 million, right? I mean, Santander might be making less than that, I would assume, if he's an arbitration guy. He's never been to free agency.
No. Thank you, Juan, for the super. Watching AJ botch a trade is like watching our aunt buy a mid-use 200K mile Camry with shot transmission and shocks mid interior and pays $10K for it.
Well, dude, cars are at a premium right now. They're expensive.
Yeah, they are. That's why I'm glad I got my car during the pandemic.
And it's also like, be careful what you're asking for here from AJ Preller. Like, do you want to move heaven and earth at the deadline? I mean, he's got a team that's 13 games over 500 despite having a bad offense. Like, he's not going to change everything at the deadline. He's not going to make 7 moves, I wouldn't think, at the deadline. He's just got to be precise. He's got to make a move that helps this offense.
I mean, pray and hope that Tatis is Tatis, because that's the biggest boost you could get, honestly.
Yep.
Of any move that Preller could make on the trade market, the only move that would be bigger would be getting like Juan Soto, right?
Right. It's not happening.
So when you think of it that way, that there's no move as big at the trade deadline as Fernando Tatis Jr. being Fernando Tatis Jr., that's the biggie.
It would be huge. Like I've been saying on the radio, though, it's like, do you know if you have Tatis when you get him back? Because it's going to be late July, early August, and the trade deadline will be upon you. So, like, do you have to address the fact that you have a question mark in Tatis, like as your center fielder or as your shortstop? Like, can you just count on Tatis being Tatis coming off a significant injury and not appearing in the big leagues for 10 months and just not skipping a beat and coming up and hitting 11 home runs in the final 2 months of the year and having a 900 OPS?
No, you're right.
Playing every day.
And we've talked about this before. Hope is not a strategy. And with Tatis, you're hoping he's like last year or like 2020 in 60 games. Like, so yeah, you're right. Preller and this team can't just sit on the hope of Tatis being Tatis, because if you do that and it's wrong and Tatis takes a while to get back, and by the time it's too late, then you've already botched everything because you were just hoping that Tatis would be what he was last year for the last 60 games of the season.
I mean, they need upgrades. I mean, Tatis in center, as crazy as it sounds, and I know we talked about this yesterday. I mean, you look at Grisham, and they need upgrades. They need upgrades at short. They need upgrades in center. They might need an upgrade in right. Tatis hopefully is some amount of an elixir, a fix somewhere, obviously, for this team. But again, is it the end all be all? It's not going to be the end all be all. There's no way he fixes everything just by returning. I mean, look at Manny Machado back out there on one leg. And, he's had some moments. I give him credit for playing third back-to-back days. That's incredible, considering the injury we saw just 2 weeks ago today. It really is incredible. But we've seen so many swings and misses from Machado. What are we expecting from Tatis? 10 months. 10 months out. Like, the idea that he's just going to be plugged in and go 3 for 5 every day, I don't know how realistic it is.
And he hasn't swung a bat in how long?
Correct. 10 months.
Well, at least since September. At least since February. Jesus, I can't fucking talk.
But even then, he wasn't. I mean, he wasn't healthy.
No, because he was swung and he's like, "Oh, this is
my wrist
right."
hurts.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael, for the super from Mexico.
Michael.
Appreciate that. Michael says something interesting I heard on the broadcast is that Padres lead Major League Baseball in at bats with runners in scoring position. It really feels like Tatis and another bat to the offense can click a bit.
Yeah, like, okay, with better hitters, but the same amount of opportunities with men in scoring position, can they take advantage of that in the second half of the year? Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel like there's a lot of games where they're 1 for 9 with men in scoring position. It does feel like there's a lot of games where there's a runner at second, nobody out, and they don't score. It does feel like recently there's been a lot of examples of guys at third base with 1 out when they don't score. So I think it is a very, very good point. I think they need to be better in that category, obviously, in the second half of the season. And Tatis will help. And so will the trade deadline, presumably.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a team that can hit with runners in scoring position, you're gonna do very well. And you're gonna win a lot of baseball games.
And they do need to be better. I don't know what they're hitting as a team with men in scoring position, but I know this, they can be better.
John, every aspect of their offense needs to be better.
Can be better. Yep.
Everything. And Voigt said it the other day. He's like, it just feels like we're not hitting home run. Like, the reason why we're not doing anything, we're not hitting home runs. He mentioned it. They're not. Now Voigt's come along, and he's been since the start of the season. He's been good. He's
From
already
May 1st. He's been good.
He has double-digit home runs already. I think he's maybe third in the team in RBIs. He had one of the biggest hits today, and he's lucky that Hosmer came through there because I don't know if you saw on the broadcast.
Yeah, he never left the batter's box.
He walked to first base. He should have been on third with one out. So thankfully Hosmer came through there and got a clean double, and there was no play at the plate, and they took the lead. But if that didn't happen and Hosmer hit like a deep fly ball to center, that's not good. So luckily everything worked out. But moral of the story is run everything out.
No doubt. We do want to tell our viewers about our partner Ora, ORA.organic. You can save 30% on your very first order, and the way to do that is by clicking the Take the Quiz button, which is on the screen right now. There's a link for Ora down below here if you're watching the wrap-up show. But if you click that Take the Quiz button, you're getting 30% off your very first order. It's a great company. Their co-founder, Will, is a San Diegan and a huge Padres fan. They've got all plant-based nutritional products. Every single one of their products is plant-based. Whether it's probiotics, I take one every single day from Ora. I take it because of digestion. You can take it for heart health and so many other reasons. They have proteins for after workouts as well. They have pre-workout supplements. They have immunity pills and sleep supplements and so much more. It's a great company. It's an easy website to get to, ORA.organic, or by clicking the link down below. And again, their co-founder, Will, is a huge supporter of this channel. This is a company with offices in San Diego. If you want to support this channel, if you want to get healthier, please consider Ora, ORA.organic. Click that Take the Quiz button. You'll get 30% off your very first order.
Yeah, everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. They have it there for you. All their products are organic and vegan based. They taste delicious. The one that I take the most is the pre-workout raspberry lemonade flavor. It's great, jitter free. It's the cleanest on the market. You won't get a crash after you take it. It's delicious. Highly recommended. Go there right now. Aura.organic. Take the quiz. We're hooking you up. Get 30% off your first order, and you will thank us later.
All right, so game one of the series against the Mariners is July 4th, tomorrow afternoon at 3:40.
I will be there. I'm going, John.
Jim will be there. I thought about actually going with Kristen and Jones. We'll see.
Well, I'm there to cover the team. You can go as a fan.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I would go as a fan. Shoaib and I will pitch tomorrow for the Padres. Mariners have been all right. They're 39-42, so they've been all right. It's a quick series, right? Is it a 2-game series? Yeah, it is.
It's a two-game
series before the Giants come here.
And Ty France will not be activated, so that's a win for the Padres there.
Sure.
Are they missing somebody else?
Yeah, I don't know. They've definitely been banged up, and I think they've underperformed a little bit, right? They won 90 games last year.
Well, they had a horrible start. They've been better of late. I think they started like 10 games under, and now since then they've been like 25-5. They're like 3 games out of a playoff spot, I think.
25-5?
Or sorry, 20 and
15.
15.
My
bad.
5. Oh my
I know
gosh.
they'd be like the best. It'd be amazing.
Rolling.
No.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Padres play well at home. You know, they've been better on the road, although they haven't been great on the road recently. I'd like to see the Padres play well at home. Oh, was there a brawl with the Iron Pigs today? I did not see that. I didn't see that. I've not seen any AAA brawl. I was not a part of it. I'm in Tahoe.
You're gonna have to look it up.
I'm not in Allentown. I don't even know if they were in Allentown.
No, Sam. No margaritas for me.
No, Jim's working.
I'm working. Getting paid. Not.
You could be breaking down the game.
I'll be covering the game, John.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll be
covering the game. Yeah, and then you got what else you got? Yeah, this is the big week. This is a big week. 4th of July tomorrow. You got Thursday is the Tatis beach towel. Also, the induction of Larry Lucchino and Ted Leitner to the Padres Hall of Fame. Did you know that, John?
It's Thursday. Yes, I did. I didn't realize it was Thursday, but yeah, I did know.
And Friday's the big debut of the City Connect jerseys.
Wow, that's a huge week.
So it's a massive week, and it's versus the Giants, so division rival. So this is a big week here in San Diego.
It absolutely is. Is there pizza here?
No.
Dude. Okay. All right.
All right.
You can see Kristen's shadow. Her birthday is July 4th, which is tomorrow. Before we roll, can we tell our viewers about our brand new membership program? We've got a brand new membership program for those that support the wrap-up show. If you want even more custom emojis of Jim and myself and LFGSD, and there's an F emoji. We've been using these a lot recently, although not here today. The more members that sign up, the more emojis you receive. So you get custom emojis, you get custom badges. The longer you're a member, the more badges you'll receive. Those get updated. You're also going to get members-only content, exclusive members-only content. You become a member today by clicking that join button down below. We appreciate your support of this channel. As we've been saying all along, we've only been doing this membership program for about a week. Nothing else is changing. Same great content for all of our viewers after Padres games, before some Padres games, year-round. But if you want to become a member, you can do that today by clicking that join button down below.
Yeah. So maybe, you know, some exclusive video content that you can only get from us if you're a member. Just saying.
Ooh. Is that
just
like an eyeball emoji?
Eyeball emoji. Just saying. If you become a member, exclusive video content as well, possibly in the future. Just saying.
Wow. Look at Jim.
Calling my shot.
He's calling a shot. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Again, kind of the July 4th weekend edition of the wrap-up show. I'm in Tahoe. Jim's in a garage, I think. His garage.
Yeah.
We do appreciate you guys hanging out with us again. Please subscribe. That's all we ask. If you're a Padres fan, please subscribe. We have year-round content for you. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Alex, thank you.
Alex says happy birthday, Kristen.
Awesome, Alex. Thank you for saying that. Kristen, happy birthday from Alex. She says thank you.
Yay.
She says love you, Alex. Also, please support our partners. Thank you, Michael. Mark Nimitz and Farmers Insurance, a title sponsor. He can save you $750 on your insurance. There's a link down below. He's a San Diegan. ORA.organic, link down below. Will, another San Diegan, supports this channel. You get 30% off your very first order. And Omar Sanchez, scan that QR code on the screen right now. Omar Sanchez will hook you up with your mortgage needs. He can get you into your dream home. Scan that QR code on the screen right now.
Everybody
Happy
be
4th,
safe.
Guys. Be safe. Have a good 4th. Padres get a game from the Dodgers. They win 4-2 at Dodger Stadium. They're 3.5 back, 81 to play, 81 in the books, 13 games over 500. Jim, I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe somewhere. Maybe a Petco.
Potentially. Why is Kristen clapping?
I don't know.
Where's my freaking pizza? Can you give me my...
Bye-bye.